get baby and beer cart in the same picture.
Nice go beer.
Hey guys, so I just got back from Adepticon 2018 in Chicago, and it was my first time going to the show. I heard a lot about it over the last several years, and I just had to go and see what it was about because it just seemed too amazing. Bottom line, the show is amazing. You should absolutely go. If you play 40K or any kind of war game or anything having to do with miniatures or painting or sculpting, you should go to Adepticon whenever you can. It's always in March, it seems. It's always in Chicago, so I would strongly recommend try to make plans now for next year. It was amazing, and I've been to a lot of shows. I've been to 9 Gen Cons, 3 Origins, a whole bunch of regional shows, all sorts of stuff. And this show, I don't know what it is about it, but it was amazing. And I didn't even play that many games. I played some games, but the show was just astounding, and I highly recommend it. So to that end, I have, I took a lot of photos. I actually took 1,800 photos and a whole bunch of video files. So what I did is I composed 3 different videos. This is the first one that outlined some things that I saw that were just astounding. This video is going to be all about the swag bag, which is infamous. You'll see. The swag bags are amazing. They've always been amazing from what everyone said. And this was no different. Although the line was a little crazy. We stood in this line, you'll see it forever, as it would seem. Obviously it wasn't forever, but we did stay in the line. And then when they got to the line, they split it by your last letter of the first letter of your last name. So people that had not been standing in line more than 10 minutes got to shoot straight to the front. And it wasn't that they kept your swag bag in order. It was just kind of crazy. So I highly recommend if you do go, you need to reserve. You need to get the premium or premier badge. I can't remember the term they use. And make sure you get one reserved because it's a fest and it's a fighting frenzy. It was really intense. And I'm pretty sure 1,000 people could have given suggestions on how to make it better, and I'm not going to do that because, I mean, it's a tough thing to do. These shows are not easy to run, so I give them all the credit in the world, but it was crazy. So, this video is going to talk about all that. It's also going to show you some of the figures we saw, some of the tables, the exhibit hall, and a whole bunch of other stuff. The game rooms were massive. They had a whole room dedicated to 40K. They had a whole room dedicated mostly to Star Wars games and then Warhammer's Fantasy. They had halls in the ballroom. All the ballrooms were filled with 40K all over the place. It was a boardroom or ballroom dedicated to fantasy of differing game systems. There was historical miniatures. There was so many games going on. There was a board game checkout. There were board games all over. People were playing all well into the night. It was pretty intense. And then there was the seminars where you could go and just listen to people give you tactic ideas, or you can go to a hobby session. It was pretty amazing. The hobby sessions were great. You learned a lot. We did a hobby session on paintbrushes, which was great. It was absolutely fantastic. And CK Studios did it, which, if you haven't heard of them, you should look them up because they're quite amazing. It was a great seminar, and it was just a great show, and you highly recommend it. So this video is going to outline all of that. The famous beer cart, which alcohol is free flowing at this show. I'll tell you, there's a lot of alcohol. There's kids at the show, and there's beer right next to them. It's kind of a weird situation. There's a beer cart that travels around the show. It's a bicycle. You'll see that. but you can just get beer right where you're gaming. It's a little different in that respect. I took my kids, and they had a great time as well. They're 10 and 12. They didn't have any problem with the show. They actually loved it a lot. The people there were kind of a little weirded out. I definitely got the impression that they don't see a lot of kids at this show, and the gamers were pretty intense compared to people that go to Gen Con. Gen Con's kind of like really easygoing, even at the end of the show. This show, they weren't so easygoing. They were kind of gruff at the end, probably lost too many matches is the only thing I can think of, or they just had a bad time, but I can't see how that's possible. So check out this video, and check out the other two at the end, because they're well worth checking out. Swag bag thing I talked about a little bit, but we're back at the hotel, and so we open it up. It's actually a great swag bag, and I knew it would be, but it's pretty exceptional, even with all of the mess that was that. So I'll get you a good overview shot of thine swag bag. So we were Premier badges. So Premier badges actually got some other things, but not much. Like the Star Wars card, and that figure was premium, I'm sorry, Premier or premium badges. And then all of the rest I think was the same, other than we had bought shirts, so we got a shirt, but those were bought. So we'll just go through. I mean, generally this is the normal swag bag. This is not the VIG, very important gamer shirt swag bag, but I'll give you an idea. There's some bases from Elric's Hobbies, which isn't bad. That's the program guide. There's a sprue, a little bit of White Dwarf action, figure by, what is that, God Tier? Oh, that's pretty cool. Some paint. This is Reaper paint, I think. Yep, that's mint green. That's a good color too. Mint green from Reaper. I don't know what this is. It's like a, oh, it's a guitar pick. Interesting. That's pretty cool. Getting a 40K fig, 30th anniversary fig. And then another thank you for your support of the weird. I don't know what's in there. There's another base from Miniatures Market. Some coaster. We've got a couple other figures in here. We got some coupons and stuff. Again, Black Library gave up a book, hard book. It's a hardback book. That's actually pretty good. Got a Troll Bloods command book from Hordes. Desert Rats Flame of War book. Got a Game Plus foam for miniatures. Black Library gave a very nice calendar. We got the shirt, like I said, and then I guess we all got a pen, which is pretty cool. Let's see if I can zoom in on this pen. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good pen. I like that pen. Then we all got one of these giant board games from Steam Forged, which looks pretty good. I think I remember seeing this. It's actually, I think I was going to fund this, if this was that Kickstarter I was looking at. Could be wrong. But we all got one of those. So that's a bag and a really quick, down and dirty, late night in the hotel room view. Oh, and then the bag itself. We got that bag. But yeah, that's about everything. It's pretty cool. Pretty good bag. Even with the insane lines.
card in the same picture.